Okay, uh, let's start today's session. I think people got the question bank. Okay, this question bank consists of 20 questions, which include both the modules, module 1 and module 2. Okay, so this is about the question bank, and uh, and nextly, you people are going to have assignment questions. Okay, so as you people know, I have given 13 assignment questions. Usually, we used to give 10 model problem. Let me clarify it. What you people need to do is, okay, first write the 13 questions in a A4 sheet properly. Okay, no back to back. Okay, neatly you people write it. Later, what we will do is, when you come to college, we will pin the same to the assignment, so that your work will also get complete and even assignment is going to get completed. Okay, so this is regarding your assignments. Okay, so then let us start today's class. Okay, we are going to start with the second module. Okay, so that is nothing but essential Hadoop tools. Okay, as you people know, in the first module we have basically concentrated on HDFS. Okay, Hadoop distributed file system. With respect to Hadoop distributed file systems, so we are going to have a name node, a data node, and secondary node. Okay, name node high availability, rack awareness. Okay, and even map reduce, very important algorithm application map reduce. Okay, now what we need to do is, okay, fine, you people are using an Hadoop distributed file system. Okay, but you need to write or you need to do some operations over the Hadoop distributed file system. It is not only that you people are going to take the information from the name node, that is metadata information, and then you are going to store the actual information into the data node. That is only not a thing. For this all, you need to write the code. Okay, that is very important. Okay, for that you need to use different languages, because big data is not just a simple thing. Big data is not just a simple thing. Big data is so big, huge. Okay, so what you need to do is okay, you need to write the code for such kind of the languages. Okay, that's a very important thing. You need to write the information for such languages. Okay, so what can you do is, you should use different kinds of essential Hadoop tools for such languages. Okay, so let us see which are the different such kind of Hadoop tools, which different languages, which is going to help you to use HDFS. Okay, Hadoop distributed file. Okay, so in this people are going to come across like Scoop. Okay, Scoop is the first and foremost language. Okay, what is the purpose of a Scoop? Like this, we may use different kinds of languages. Okay, to work on HDFS. Okay, Scoop. What is the work of a Scoop? Scoop is basically used to import and export data. Okay, so where we are going to import and export the data. Basically, we are going to have a HDFS system. Okay, for this HDFS system, we need to import. Means data is going to be stored on the data node from the name node. Okay, input is going to come to name node from the client, if you remember. Okay, so like this, we need to import and export the data between HDFS and RDBMS. Okay, that is the remote relational database management system. So this is where we are going to use the Scoop. Another languages, like they are all very important languages, and to make the HDFS work, we should use any of these languages. Okay, so it may be a pig. What is the use of a pig? Pig is a procedural language platform, basically, which is we are going to use this pig by using a language, scripting language. Okay, so basically pig is a procedural language platform which is used to develop script for map reduce operations. And Hadoop base, again, it's a distributed column oriented database which is built on the top of Hadoop file system. Very important languages like Hive. Okay, usually I used to say this when I'm handling your cloud computing classes for you guys. Hive is a platform used to develop SQL type of scripts. Okay, we are going to study everything in detail, just we are following the abstracts. Flume, again, it is used to handle streaming data. Okay, what is the meaning of a streaming data? Everything we are going to study in the upcoming classes. OZ again, Apache OZ is nothing but it's going to show the workflow for the scheduler in the Hadoop. Okay, So these are the different languages like Scoop, Pig, HBase, Hive, Flume, and OZ. These are the very basic ecosystem which you are going to use in the Hadoop. As you people know, there is a difference between HDFS and Hadoop. No, HDFS and this languages. Okay, so basically Hadoop distributed file system, you studied the abstract overview, but in that Hadoop distributed file system, we are going to use the different languages, okay, to implement the concepts. That is very, very important. I can use, in order to exchange the data, I can use Scoop, okay. To write some procedure scripts, I can go for Pig. Okay, to write some database on the top of Hadoop file, I can go for HBase. Okay, and even I can use SQL query languages like Hive. I can handle the streaming of the data using Flume. Okay, and I can schedule the workflow using OZ. These are the different kinds of languages that is present in Hadoop distributed file systems. Okay, so before going to this, let me see. I even I can write the Java language to work the Hadoop distributed file system. So whenever I say, do you know a Java? You may ask what question you people are asking. Obviously, we have studied the Java many times and we know the Java. But what's the difference between this Java language and other languages which you are studying now, like Pig, Hive, HBase, Scoop? Okay, what's the difference? Basically, the 10 lines of Pig is equal to 200 lines of the Java. Oh my God, is it real? Yes, that is what the things makes difference. Okay, that is why people are not using Java more in Hadoop distributed file systems rather than Java. People are going for such languages which are very eco-friendly with respect to HDFS, like Pig, Hive, Spook. Okay, so you people can imagine 10 lines of Pig, which is nothing but which is equal to 200 lines of the Java. That's why that is what makes the difference between Java and Pig. Okay, so basically any big company you people go, I'm going to tell the name of the companies which are using these languages in the Hadoop. Okay, in the upcoming slides. But what all the operations it will do? It will all having built-in operations, very very big built-in operations like join, group, filter, sort, and many more. Okay, so did you understand why we need to go for such kind of the languages? Even I'm telling I cannot say that you cannot use Java to write the Hadoop distributed file systems. Obviously 101% people can use the Java to write the Hadoop distributed file systems, but if people can imagine the 10 lines of Pig, that is nothing but a script. If people are going to call it as a script, basically Pig is a script language where you are going to write a script for all the operations. Okay, so the 10 lines of the script in the Pig is nothing but which is equal to 200 lines of the Java. Just imagine how the work is going to be reduced if you use such language. Okay, so coming back, yeah, coming back to our slide, let us see what is Pig. Okay, so it is an introduction to Pig. Let us see what is the Pig. Now we people are going to study all these ecosystems like Pig, Hive, HBase, Scoop, Plume, OZ. Okay, so why I'm telling this, because you can use Java 101%, you can use Java, but this languages will make Hadoop to work very very well. Because just an example, you have seen the 10 lines of the Pig is nothing but it's equal to 200 lines of the Java. Okay, so when I say Pig, nothing but as you people studied in the abstract slide, what is the work of the Pig? Pig is purely a procedural oriented language. Okay, what is the work of the Pig? Pig is nothing but it is used as a scripts in MapReduce. Okay, so Pig is nothing but again it's an abstraction for processing large amount of data set. Okay, so basically it is a fundamental platform for analyzing large amount of data, which consists of high language of expressing data analysis program. Basically Pig is an open source. You people can also install the Pig in your laptops. Okay, first you need to install a Hadoop cluster. Over the Hadoop cluster, you people can start working on the language called as a Pig. Okay, as you know, Pig is basically developed by Yahoo. Yahoo is the one company which is maintaining a huge biggest Hadoop cluster in the world. If you believe me, I have told while I am doing cloud computing, Yahoo is the company which has lost its name and reputations in the past 10 years. Okay, but still this is the only one company which is handling a biggest Hadoop cluster. Okay, and why they develop the language called as a Pig over a Hadoop? Okay, Hadoop is something a platform. Are you guys understanding? In this platform, some technical issues. Okay, done. Can you guys hear me? Okay, guys, can you hear me? Okay, fine. Some technical issue, not a problem. Okay. So I was telling the same thing. Okay. It is an open source platform developed by Yahoo. Okay. Why Yahoo developed the pig? The very, very important question why Yahoo developed the pig is nothing but pig is going to help to work over ad hoc networks. Okay, they want to work on the client systems. Yahoo actually make the language to work on the client systems, so they developed the language called as a pig. That is the main reason why the pig is came into the market. Okay, so what are the advantages of the pig? You can reuse the code, faster development, yeah, obvious, because the lines of code, number of lines of code is very less, and schema and type checking, everything is there in case of a pig. Okay, what makes Pig Hadoop popular?
What makes
Uh, Easy to learn. Okay, read and write and implement if you know SQL. Already you know SQL because you studied in DBMS. Okay, and it is implementing a new approach of multiple query. Okay, people know up to now you are just a single queries, but now people are using multiple queries. It provides the large number of nested data types. That is very, very important. We are going to study in the data types upcoming classes. Up to now, whatever the data types you have seen, that may be like int, float, character array. Okay, but this is a I told you basically pig is going to deal with structured and semi-structured data. Keep it in your mind, very, very important. That is what pig is going to deal. Basically it is going to deal with the database. Okay, if you believe me, and the next upcoming point you will come across which are the companies they are making use of the pig language. Okay, so as I told you, Hadoop is the only one company which is holding the biggest cluster in the world. They are using this Hadoop. Yahoo they are using this. 90% of Yahoo's map reduce is going to be done by using a pig. Do you believe 90% of the work is by pig language? Okay, what actually this language do? This language will do all the process in the Hadoop distributed file system, like transferring of the data, our understanding, storing of the data, and then manipulation of the data. Every work is going to be done by using this kind of the language, that is nothing but what as a pig. And basically it is a scripting language. Okay, so the 90% of the work is nothing but Yahoo is going to do by using a pig language. And 80% of Twitter's MapReduce is also done by pig language. Do you believe 80% of the Twitter's work? Okay, and even Facebook, all your social networking sites like Salesforce.com. I think you people remember your cloud computing. I have told you about Salesforce.com, Manjarasoft, Aneka. There are different kinds of the clouds. LinkedIn, okay, basically a professional social networking site, and even Nokia. These people are using, all the majority of the companies are using the language nothing but called as a pig. Okay, guys. Uh, Basically, the word pig was initially a pig Latin. Okay, what is this pig Latin? Pig Latin is again a language, okay, basic language. Which what are the following features we will see? Simple programming. It is easy to code and execute and manage the program. Basically, it is scripting language. Okay, so better optimization system can automatically optimize and execution as per the requirements, and extensive nature used to achieve high specific programming tasks. Obviously you should believe that here you are processing a huge amount of data. Huge. When I say huge, can you just imagine the rate of the data that Twitter is coming every day? Can you imagine the rate of social LinkedIn data coming every day? Can you imagine what is the amount of data generating by the Facebook every day? Such kind of the data is going to be handled by using this language or a Hadoop cluster. Okay, so that is what the main purpose is nothing but we are going to call it as ETL. It's a very, very new technology. ETL, we call it as ETL. What is the full form of ETL? Extract, transform, load. Are you guys understanding? We need to take the data, extract the data, transfer. We need to transform the data, okay, and then we need to load the data. Basically, what I told in your DBMS, you are working over characters, you are working over some sort of a string, you are working over an integer, you are working over a varchar. But now the scenario is totally different. Why the scenario is totally different? Because you people are now working over a data which is structured and semi-structured. In case of a pig, when I say structured and semi-structured, the data is not only in one form, it may be coming in any number of the forms. So This process should handle ETL data pipeline. We are going to call ETL, extract, transform, and load. Basically, for such purpose, we are going to make this opportunity. Okay, and research on raw data, that is nothing but where the concept of your data science comes. Even we are going to work on this, and iterative processing. Okay, so basically when we are discussing about the data types, basically people are using the scalar data types. When I say scalar data types, you people remember in your DBMS, you people are using in, float, double, long, character, and byte array. These are the complex data types in PIC, and are namely but now what happens, you people can see. Okay, map is one of the data type. Basically it consisting of the data type of character array, where you people can have the big data type include complex data types. Okay, like people can see city, okay, pin code. You can store such information, some complex data types, and you are going to call such data type is nothing but map. Tuple, a collection of data types, and it is having definite fixed length. Okay, and even it can consist of multiple fields in any order of the sequence. Okay, so that is nothing but called as a tuple. Again, tuple is a data type, map is a data type, and bag is a huge collection of tuples. Again, I can see here it is unordered sequence. Okay, so you people remember, you people create a table in your DBMS in a ordered manner, and you people are going to store the data on the data types in a ordered manner. If I created an integer first, my data storage should be of type integer. If I created a string second, my data type of storage should be a string. But in this case of huge big data, okay, we cannot use a traditional method of database storage. It may be a ordered sequence, it may be an unordered sequence. For everything, I am going to have a data type, because what the data I am dealing is purely a not a structured data. And even though if it's a structure, not a proper way of the data. One more example I would like to bring into your notice, like the census information. Okay, now if people are going to have a sensor, for example, thermometer sensor, which is sensing the climate. For example, okay, climatic weather sensor. Every time the weather sensor is not sending the same data. Sometimes the humidity may be high. Suddenly it will send the humidity data. Sometimes the wind is starts to blow. It is going to send the wind data. Like this, there may be different kinds of the data, unstructured data that is coming from the sensors, and we need to store such data. And weather stations, they cannot use the database of the traditional way, like in, float, double. Obviously they need to switch to the different kinds of the data types. That is nothing but map, tuple, bag. Okay, so again, bag is a huge collection of tuples, but basically it is an unordered sequence. Okay, tuples are arranged in the bags and are separated by the comma. Like for example, Bangalore with a pin code, Mysore with a pin code, like this. Okay, how we are going to run a PIC program? There are namely three ways of executing PIC programs. Okay, one is script, grunt, and embedded. As you know, in the first class, I told basically PIC can run on a script file. Okay, that contents of the PIC command, like how you people are running your PHP file, like PHP space filename.php. In the same manner, if you remember your programming lab, PHP space filename.php. In the same way, when you are opening the command prompt of the PIC in a Hadoop cluster, you are going to call PIC space script.pig. Script. What is the name of the script here? Okay, so that is how you people are going to run the program. This is a one way. Okay, even if your scripts, you can use -c option to run a script specified as string on the command line. Then one other way is nothing but called as grunt. Grunt is an interactive shell programming for running PIC commands. Okay, Grunt is started with no files in a specified for PIC to run. Again, you people can use -c option to run the string. Okay, so the third one is called as embedded. You can execute all the PIC program from Java, and you can use Java database connectivity to run SQL programs from the Java. I told you, people basically we can use Java to run Hadoop distributed file system. Basically, I'm saying, okay, 101% people can use Hadoop distributed file system using Java. But what's the difference? In the first slide only I have shown you 10 lines of PIC code, which is equal to 200 lines of the Java code. Okay, very efficient. So then you people are going to switch to a pig, not for the Java. But even you can embed this pig and Java programs, and you can run using Java database connectivity to run all SQL programs. Okay. So if you believe me, why I am speaking about SQL, basically we are dealing with the data, but this pig supports different kinds of the data types with your SQL like map, okay, map, tuple, and bag. They are the very, very important data types. Okay. So installation, download the pig, extract, and set the path. That's a very, very important. And some of the basic examples. Okay, small script, you grunt. If people know, we can run the program in either script, grunt, and embedded. Okay, this is an example of a script. Okay, where I'm loading the password of the pig storage like database connectivity. Just we are showing a connectivity example. Okay, and we are running and dump. Dump is like nothing but your get CS statement. Okay, unless and until I doesn't call for a dump in your what I can say pig programming. Okay, it is not going to return the output over the command prompt over the console. I can say console. Okay, so dump is like a get ch. Okay, unless and until I'm not going to call for the dump. See, people, this is a grunt example and this is script example. There are two examples. You can, and even we can go for embedded. Okay, grunt is a shell programming language. Okay, basically it's a shell programming language. Basically, script is a script programming language. Okay, so dump, both the places I'm using the dump. What is the purpose of a dump? Dump is like a get ch statement in your C program, which is going to throw the output over the console. Okay, here also the same thing. Okay, and I will even run the run. I can run Hadoop distributed file systems by creating the directories. Okay, so with this, we have completed some of the basic concepts of the pig. Let us come back to one more kind of the ecosystem. I'm not going to call this as a language. I'm going to call it as a tools. Okay, basically we need all such kind of the tools. Okay, like your as I told you, it may be a pig, it may be a hive, it may be HBase, it may be Spoof, right? It may be OZ, it may be Flume. Okay, they're all the part of the Hadoop distributed file system. Based on the requirements, we may use any kind of the tool, any kind of the tool. Okay, if I want to run the script, I may go for a pig. If I want to transfer the data between the HDFS and RDBMS and RDBMS to HDFS, I may use Scoop. Okay, so what is this Apache Scoop? Again, Scoop is a tool. Basically, it's a tool designed for transfer of the data. Okay, transfer of the data between where we are going to transfer the data between the relational database, okay, to the Hadoop distributed file system, and from Hadoop distributed file system to the relational database. It's a two-way communication. Are you guys understanding what is the meaning of two-way communication? Either I can store the data or I can import the data. I can export the data, I can import the data. Okay, so basically, if you remember what we used to do in Hadoop distributed file system, name node is going to help to store the data over a data node. Okay, data node is going to give the information back to the name node, whatever the name node asks the query. That is where actual the things comes. Okay, some background code should be written to all the operations. Do you believe me? Without code, it is nothing like the two humans are communicating. No, it's a system that is communicating, not the humans. Okay, so when I say humans, systems are communicating, basically the system understand some kind of a code, some kind of a language, and this are the different kinds of the tools that make them to understand what to do. Are you guys understanding? So if I want to import or export between the HDFS and RDMS, basically I'm going to use Apache Scoop. Scoop is nothing but we call it as SQL Hadoop. Okay, SQL Hadoop, SQL to Hadoop and Hadoop to SQL. Okay, because I'm dealing with relational database management systems to Hadoop distributed file system, Hadoop distributed file system to relational database management system. The same thing you are doing in your DBMS. If you remember, you are going to write the query over the editor, and from the editor, you are going to store the information over the server. Okay, again, you are going to write the query over the editor, and you are going to export the information from the server to the editor. Are you understanding? In the same way, here also we are going to have the communication between the RDBMS, that's a server, to the Hadoop distributed file system, and Hadoop distributed file system to RDBMS. For that, we need SQL, structured query language, to Hadoop and Hadoop to SQL. Okay. Basically, whenever I need to interact between the HDFS and RDBMS, we are going to use the Apache Scoop. Okay, so that's what he's telling. The traditional application management system that's going to provide the interaction of application is nothing but RDBMS. But nowadays, that RDBMS has been converted into big data. Okay, which is going to be stored over the relational database servers. Okay. Yes, that's what when big data storages and analysis map reduce Hive, HBase, Cascender. We are not going to study anywhere about the Cascender. Again, Cascender is a type of the language, it's a Hadoop distributed language. Okay, so basically this kind of the tools come into the picture whenever we are dealing with Hadoop distributed file systems. Okay, that's what the analyzing of the Twitter data, the analyzing of LinkedIn data, the analyzing of the Facebook data, they are all required some unique language. And that kind of the unique language is nothing but one example is Pig, Hive. Okay. So what is this Apache Scoop? Even, yeah, we can use Apache Scoop. Can be used with JDBC and JDBC or ODBC. Okay. So, open database connectivity. Even I can use using Microsoft SQL Server, Postgres SQL, MySQL, and even in Oracle. Based on the different versions are needed. Okay, so all this is going to be supported by Apache Scoop. How Apache Scoop works? So I told you, basically the Scoop tool, here the Scoop tool, which is going to help you to do both import and export. Between what it is going to help you to do import and export? Between RDBMS and Hadoop distributed file system. So this is a backend database. Either you can use MySQL, Oracle, Postgres, and database applications. This is a front end. Like I can typically use HDFS, Hive, HBase. Okay, so these are the different. This is what the how the Scoop is going to work. It is going to help you to import and export. Okay, so from here it will take the data. From here it will take the data. It will give to HDFS system. From here again it is going to take the some information and it is going to give the articles. Basically you store the information here. You are going to access the information here. Are you understanding? That is what the process is going to work. Import and export. Import and export. Store the information. Access the information. Store the information. Access the information. Are you guys understanding? For accessing, I can use any of the concepts like Hive, HBase. For storing the information, I can use again MySQL, Oracle, Postgres. Okay, this is how the Scoop tools work. Okay, yeah. The meeting remaining time is 9 to 10 minutes. Okay, not a problem. Okay, Scoop import. Yeah, I told you two operations, import and export. Okay, so if I want to access tables from the RDBMS to HDFS, each row in a table is treated as a record, you know it. Okay, and all the records are stored either in terms of a text data or text files or as a binary data. Okay, again export tools, again it is going to set up files, HDFS backup RDMS files, which give you input to Scoop contain records which are called as a rows. Okay, so this is how the things goes with the import and export options. Basically, in the figure people can see there is a two steps process. One is Scoop examines the database to gather the necessary metadata for the data to be imported. Basically, it is going to take the hint in terms of a metadata. Metadata, you know what's the meaning of a metadata? A data over a data we call metadata, but basically it consists of the key informations. Okay, so the imported, the second step is nothing but, what is the work is nothing but here it is going to do only the map operation, not reduce. Are you guys understanding? Scoop is only going to do the map operation, not the reduce operations. Can you see this? Okay, so it's a Scoop import operations. Similarly, Scoop export operations. This is a generalized diagram. Are you guys understanding? This is a generalized diagram. Okay, how Scoop works. But when I come for the detailed diagram, people can see here, this is how the things works. Okay, this is an import operation, export operation, and import operations. This is export operation, this is an import operations. Okay, so what I'm suggesting is nothing but, see what happens whenever I say Scoop import, RDBMS is going to get the data. Okay, it is only going to do the map operation.
it doesn't do reduce. Keep it in your mind very clearly. This is only going to do the map operation. Means basically we are dealing with storing of the data, that's all. No reduce operations. Reduce operation is the second stage of the process. Okay, Spoof only deals with the data. So when it is dealing with the data, it should only map and store the data. Okay, and again, whenever I request the data, it is going to export and give me the data. It is least concerned with reducing map, or it is least concerned with reduce operation. It is only concerned with the map operation. Are you guys understanding? So if this is a Hadoop cluster, so whenever I ask for import, okay, it is going to map to any HDFS storage and it is going to get the data. Okay, so it's a reverse process. Whenever you people can see again, so you people see the arrow mark. Okay, import from RDBMS, it is going to map. Spoof work is to map the operation and it is going to store the data. Store. This is a different HDFS storage. Okay, this is a different HDFS storage. And whenever I say import, okay, it is going to map where to store the data. That is the work of a Spoof job using SQL commands. Keep it in your mind. Using SQL commands. Okay, so this is how it is going to store the data. If you are using MySQL, it will use MySQL commands. If you are using Postgres, it is going to use that command. If you use Oracle, it's going to use this command. Based on the type of RDBMS operation you are using. Okay. So similarly, when I say export, okay, again getting the data from the storage, that's again the Spoof job is to just get the data to the map, and from map again back to RDBMS. Very clearly I am telling there is no reduce operation. Are you understanding? There is no reduce operation. Why? Because it is the second phase. The first phase is only storage, and whenever I am dealing with the storage, I am going to use Spoof. Spoof is going to help me to store the information between RDBMS and SDFS, and SDFS to RDBMS. That is what we studied in the first slide of the Spoof. If you have doubt, let me show you guys. Spoof is used to import and export data to and from between SDFS and RDBMS. Are you understanding? Spoof is a tool which is used to import and export the data between RDBMS and SDFS to RDBMS. Are you understanding? So this is how the things works in case of a Spoof. Okay, Spoof is basically, I am telling you, if you are using in RDBMS MySQL, let me show you again here. Yeah, right, guys, see here. If I'm using MySQL, I'm going to run MySQL commands. If I'm using Oracle, I'm going to run Oracle commands. If I'm using Postgres SQL, I'm going to use PostgreSQL commands. And here, for the purpose of next, after this, the operation comes. Are you understanding? Let me put an arrow mark here and let me show you. Where is the shapes? Okay. Yeah. After this, the reduce will come. Are you understanding? After this, that's the second phase. Now I'm only dealing with the storage, so I'm going to use only map. Okay, so this is how the things goes with respect to the top. What I can say is Spoof. Okay, there are different versions of the Spoofs. Based on the versions, we can use the Spoof versions. Okay, yeah, that is what Spoof version 1 and Spoof version 2. Connectors for all major cabos security, data transfer from RDS to Hive, data transfer from Hive to HBase or RDBS. So this is how different versions support for different processes. Okay, it will be supported. It's not going to support, not going to support, not going to support. Okay, so these are the different versions will support for different things. Okay, Spoof example, we need to study down how to download the Spoof. What is Flume? So next we are going to study what is Flume. Okay, and what is the available solution for the Flume, advantages of the Flume. Okay, these are the different things we are going to study in the upcoming classes. At last we are going to have Apache Hive. Okay, and what are the features of the Hive, working of the Hive, and different types of the Hive data types, and last is Apache OS. It's all the things we are going to study in the upcoming classes. Okay, so any doubts you're facing or anything, if you're not understanding, kindly let me know. Okay, kindly make use of the classes very properly. Okay, so these are the very important things with respect to big data. Okay, so we'll wind up today's class. We are left with only 2 minutes. Kindly write your assignments. Okay, so any doubts, feel free to message me. Okay, I'm going to help you. Kindly write the assignments. You will understand what is there, what is not there. I have given forwarded the textbook to you guys into the group. Notes is ready with me. I need to scan the notes. Okay, so I think I have shared the PPTs also with you in your personal groups. Once the Moodle is going to get okay, I'm going to scan and upload your notes. Okay, materials are there. A lot of materials over the big data. Okay, kindly use the resources. Any part of time, any doubts with the big data, just contact me. Okay, so let us start today's class. Stop today's class. Okay, and we are going to continue in the tomorrow's class, rest of the part. Okay, any doubts, you can contact me. Thank you.